You are listening to the 501stcast, the official podcast of the 501st Legion. Stay tuned to global news from the front lines of the Empire as the men and women of Vader's Fist celebrate decades of promoting Star Wars, honing the art of costumes and props, and contributing to the community through charity and volunteer work.
Give me regular reports, please. Right?
And here are your hosts. Take it away, troopers.
Copy that.
There we go. Welcome to 501st Cast, the official podcast of the 501st Legion, Vader's Fist. We're here with your hosts, myself, Mike Hinton, TK5351 from Garrison, Carida, with
Chris Nitro, TR82065 from the Northeast Remnant Garrison.
Mikey Bouchereau, TB60614 from the Bluegrass Garrison.
Matt Schraeder, TB99920 from Starkiller Garrison.
And I'm Anthony AP Pizzuto, SL22381 from the Northeast Remnant Garrison. All right, folks, from the Imperial Security Bureau, as of February 22nd, 2026, we have 12,855 active troopers with 33,733 approved costumes. And for those playing along at home, the TI is up 8 approved costumes since our last report, bringing their lead up to 5,459, and that poor CP costume is pulling up the rear still with only 22. Womp, womp, womp.
This is Hunter Smoke, CC81419 from Northern Darkness Garrison, and you're listening to the 501st Cast.
All right, troopers, live from somewhere between Coruscant and your group chat, it's the Hollow News Net, bringing you news faster than a TIE fighter chasing down a YT-1300 freighter. First, a huge shout out and thanks to everyone who stepped up to run and to those who participated in the election process. And congratulations to all the leaders at the local level and Legion level, new and existing, who have started their official terms. Do you have a unique skill set? Have a passion for leading? If you're curious about participating in the command staff at the local level or even the Legion level, start small. Reach out to your local CO and set up a conversation. Ask what the role really looks like. Learn about the challenges and what the rewards are. Leadership in the Legion is all about supporting your fellow troopers, strengthening our community, and ensuring we continue to make a meaningful difference in the galaxies we visit, both fictional and real. And it's never too early to start thinking about your involvement in the future. Who knows? The next great leader of our garrison might already be in armor. All right, tossing it to you, Matt, with some news from the charity office.
Before we get there, Starkiller Garrison actually has a mentorship training program for the different officer positions. Someone who's interested can get in and kind of shadow the person who does the job just to see if they'd be interested in doing it. So there's a great idea for other garrisons out there.
Yeah, that's fantastic. If you could share some details on the forums about like that mentorship program, that's great. I think a lot of us could benefit from that.
Yeah, it's mainly an informal thing of, hey, just what do you do? And just connecting people who are interested just so they show interest and then get an idea of what the job is. And I know a few of the jobs are even split between 2 or 3 people. So just to help share the load. That's
great. Awesome.
So, but now that aforementioned charity news. So this was recently posted for the charity reps, but we want to make sure that everybody hears about it here. So we will be working with Starlight, at least in the U.S., once again this year for upcoming hospital visits during the month of May. So just like in the past, they will send out toys to the hospital for you to pass out to the kids during your hospital visits. So May the 4th is going to be here before you know it. So get those dates submitted early. So Starlight has plenty of time to get those shipments out to the hospitals. The deadline for submissions to arrive during the month of May is April 1st. That's no joke. So you got about less than a month to get that done. If you're planning a hospital visit in the month of May and wish to have Starlight send out some cool stuff, please fill out the form that's going to be flashing on the screen. For those of you who are just listening, check with your garrison charity reps and your event coordinators to make sure that they are getting this done.
Oh yeah, I was trying to flash it on the screen and I missed the flash on the screen, so we'll have to. There it is.
I got it right now. I just got it up right now.
There it is, and I'll put it in the show. I'll put it in
now,
and I'll put it in the show notes too. I'll put it in the show notes for those that are listening. They can not try it while you're driving your car and listening. But it's a good one to listen to. So our next one is our new CRLs. So CRLs are our costuming referencing library for those that might not be in the Legion. But since our last episode, we have 4 new. No, is it 4? Or did we get 5? Yeah, we have 5 new CRLs. We had 1 new one actually since we wrote our notes, and we found it while we were working earlier. But we have the Night Trooper, which is the elite undead stormtroopers from Ahsoka. We have the Imperial Technician from the Bad Batch. These look like gunners, but with a gray suit. We have the 41st Elite Trooper Phase 2, heavy from Battlefront 2, the game. The 41st Elite Trooper is commanded by Commander Gree during the Clone Wars and later fought alongside Yoda and the Wookiees of Kashyyyk. Heavies are the frontline fire support and support specialists. We have the Imperial Senate officer from from Andor Season 2, providing security services for the Imperial Senate. These were the final version of the Senate Guard who donned the blue robes in the prequel trilogy. And then the good old blue man himself, Grand Admiral Thrawn from Ahsoka. The Grand Admiral surprises us with returning from the depths of the galaxy in Ahsoka. So if you want to paint yourself blue, check out the CRLs. And soon after this video, we'll have another one.
This is ID 81117 of the Southern California Garrison, and you're listening to the 501st Cast.
Now up for the Trooper of the Month from January. So congratulations to Andy Price, TK42542 from the Southern Cross Garrison. So there's a little write-up about him, that there were an overwhelming number of nominations for Andy. And messages from every single one was clear that Andy is the definition of service in the 501st. So since joining in 2014 and serving the past 7 years as Garrison Commanding Officer, he has trooped up to 8 events in a single weekend, sometimes in 40-degree heat, and that is 40-degree heat Celsius, and driven up to 7 hours for a single appearance across a region larger than Texas, housed interstate international visitors, hosted recruits with hands-on help to get kits approved, served on the Global Council, posted updates within hours, wrangled while others needed support, scouted venues in advance, coordinated nationwide merchandise distribution, and even provided financial support to his garrison. I hope you all took notes because there's going to be a quiz on this later on.
Right.
So, and now even more so, now you know you have to take notes. With 15 approved 501st costumes and 7 Rebel Legion costumes, he still regularly steps out of armor to ensure everyone else succeeds. As he steps down after 7 years of leadership, those who nominated him all echoed the same sentiment. There simply isn't any more he could have given, and he sets the standard for commitment, generosity, and heart in this Legion. So congratulations from all of us at the 501st Cast.
Yeah, congratulations. Woo! I also did the math. If anyone's just listening, it's 104 degrees Fahrenheit.
Ooh, toasty.
Oh, get back to us when it's really hot, okay? No, that's pretty impressive. And now I also want to add congratulations to the other nominees as well. So every month, voting for Trooper of the Month is very hard because we have so many troopers who do such amazing work. Personally, I don't mind that difficult decision because it means that our members are continuing to be bad guys doing good.
I agree with you on that. We also have some honorary members that were inducted this month, including Richard Edlund, the Academy Award-winning director of photography and VFX unit of Star Wars: A New Hope and VFX supervisor for Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, was inducted by members of the French Garrison on January 23rd, 2026, during the Paris International Digital Summit. So on January 23rd, 2026, members of the French Garrison had the honor to induct this legendary visual effects pioneer, Richard, as an honorary member of the 501st Legion at the Paris International Digital Summit. Edlund was a founding force behind ILM and helped revolutionize cinema with his groundbreaking work on Star Wars. From the Death Star trench run to unforgettable space battles, his innovations changed how movies were made. His career also includes Academy Award-winning work for Raiders of the Lost Ark, Return of the Jedi, and Ghostbusters. He later founded Boss Film Studios, continued to push visual effects forward. He was surprised and genuinely touched by the induction and the plaque presented to him. A very special moment connecting the Legion to one of the creators who helped build this galaxy we all love. We're also sending our best wishes after learning he recently suffered a heart attack. We hope for a full and speedy recovery for him.
I totally would have gone to Paris for that, by the way. Richard Edlund is
I know, right?
Little AP hero. So congrats. So that's awesome. So a special thank you.
I mean,
to,
you see him. I was gonna say,
Yeah.
you see him in all the documentaries about Star Wars and everything like that too, with ILM, and it's just like, I can't believe he has never been inducted before. So that's just amazing that we were able to do that, and the fact that he was genuinely touched. So it makes me really happy that we were able to do that before anything happened.
Just running
Absolutely.
down that list of his films, it's like, yep, that's my favorite film.
Yeah.
That's my favorite film. And that's my favorite film. So
The trench run. I mean, I've seen that pickup truck with the trench run, and it's become commonplace. But you imagine when the first time he probably said, "Hey, let's do stuff like that," and they probably well, those guys were probably excited about it. But I can't imagine,
Oh yeah, what a great time! So congratulations to him and absolutely a speedy recovery, and also a special thank you to CO Loic Bach and XO Angèle Collier for making this honor possible. And Richard Edlund, as we all know, didn't just create the effects; he helped really shape modern cinema, as all of those guys did back at ILM back in 1975, 6, and 7. So we're proud to welcome him into the Legion. Also getting inducted as an honorary member is someone with probably my favorite name ever, Mr. D. Tales. Yes, you heard that right, folks. D. Tales, who was inducted at Capital Sci-Fi Con on February 21st by the Imperial Scottish Garrison. D. Tales is a creature performer and puppeteer who has appeared in several Star Wars properties. D brought several of these characters to life across the galaxy, including Kratanus in The Force Awakens. You can see him in Maz's castle on Takodana. K-O-H-N, whatever, in Rogue One, found in Jeddah City. Sloan Lowe in The Last Jedi, the guy that rats out Finn and Rose on Canto Bight. And then the Pike Syndicate member Quay Tolsite in Solo and the Kessel Spice Mines. D was inducted by CO Brian McDavid, TK 18910, and Events Officer Scott McNair, TI 36963. Honorary member Samantha Alain was also in attendance, so thank you for that. D shared some stories from set, spoke about his love for Star Wars, and thanked the Legion for the community we build around this galaxy far, far away. All right, Nitro, kicking it to you for the topic of the day.
Hi there, troopers. This is SL 4600, commanding officer of the Dutch Garrison. You're listening to the 501st cast.
All right, gents. Topic of the day. We racked our brains a little bit and came up with a list, and this is one of the first ones we've came up with. So I'm going to kick off the question, which is, what was the very first Star Wars character that made you say, I want to wear that? And I'll go first.
Okay.
So the Legion, it's funny because I was aware of Star Wars. I knew about the Legion. I knew all these things, but it wasn't what I saw on the screen that I said I wanted to wear that. It was a vendor that created a costume that was a very low price point and I said to myself, for that price point, I want to wear that and I want to join the 501st. Hilariously enough, I've never finished that costume and I sold it.
What was the costume?
So the costume was this shadow stormtrooper from the now defunct company Anovos. It was absurdly cheap, knowing what I know now, having been in the Legion. I think, what is it, almost 8 years now, 7 years? I forget. My friend and I, we were just looked at each other. We're like, "No, you want to buy one?" And I was like, "Sure." And then I was like, "And we could join the 501st, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, let's do it." And so we picked it up. And if anybody knows Anovos, waited and waited and waited and waited and wait and in that time frame, I said, I'm tired of waiting. I need to get something else going, right? So then I scooped up another piece of armor in that same vein. It was a TX still, and that is now known as the Crimson Stormtrooper, which at the time was the Magma Trooper, which I think it was the MEPD stole the name, or that we had two costumes with the same name, and they kind of just said, you know what, we have to differentiate between the two. So I picked up that armor, found out I couldn't fit into it, and so in the shimming and the adding and whatever and all that stuff ruined the armor. So that armor went out the window, and then and eventually it ended up becoming approved in Legion with the Royal Guard. So my theming there was I went from very cheap black stormtrooper armor to two different red armors, because we do live in New Jersey, AP and I, and a lot of the sport teams have a red theming here. So I was like, you need to get a red costume, because you'd be a hit at all those sporting events. We have the Red Bulls here, we have Rutgers, the Devils. I cannot tell you every time we do a Devils troop how exciting it is when people see a red costume and they just run up to you. It's like, I need a picture with that guy. He's wearing all the red. They have no idea what a Royal Guard is, but they're just like, this is a red guy. Get the picture with the red guy. But yeah, so I mean, it wasn't because I saw it on the screen. It was because I was like, this is my barrier to entry. Is get into the Legion very quickly or whatever. But then, and you know, and now there's a new company, you know, that Anovos that resurrected from the ashes of Anovos. But if anyone, you hear any stories of people who've been on the Legion for a while, you hear Anovos, you just hear the groans and the eye rolls, and they're like, oh, that's that company.
It started out with such hope.
It did, and I have multiple things from them too. But just the, you know, they were, when they were doing the thing, it was just great. But yeah, it would whatever. Their newer company, Denuo Novo, I believe it's called.
Yes, yeah.
I have not bought anything directly from them, but I hear much higher praise.
I have a Sabine helmet from them.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. I have a first order TK helmet from them.
Nice. Cool. So yeah, they're you know, they're a good barrier to entry still in their new form. But back then, that's what it was. It wasn't what I saw on the screen. Nothing on the screen said to me, I want to wear that. Nowadays, I see things on the screen and I'm like, I want to wear that. But to get into the Legion, it was just seeing that costume, and I was like, oh, I think I could do that, and it looks really cool and whatnot. But I did sell it, and then I followed its progression. I think it changed hand at least three times after me, and it has been someone finally got approved in it here in New Jersey, and so I'm thankful for that. Or yeah, I'm pretty sure he did get approved in it, and I'm thankful for that someone actually is wearing it in the Legion. So
nice.
Shadow Stormtrooper.
That's good.
Yeah. Let's go around the room and let's see who else saw something and said, I want to wear that. I'll start with Mike. Go ahead, Mike.
Okay. So I saw Stormtrooper first, and this was, you know, I saw it in 77. First Stormtrooper I saw, I wanted that armor. And it was 1993. There was this new invention called the internet. and this website, I think it was a bulletin board at the time, was selling armor. You had to send them $2, and they sent you a paper with pictures. I still have this piece of paper, and it was $600 in 1993 dollars, which seemed like impossible money. So I just set that aside, and then fast forward to like 2006, and my wife and I finally got into, you know, we had kids, we got our house, we finally got settled, and I think she just got tired of me always saying I wanted Stormtrooper armor. She said, you should buy that Stormtrooper armor you're always talking about. I didn't know anything about the 501st or anything. And then I started looking up Stormtrooper armor, and I went to, I think it was GeoCities, was the 501st board. That was maybe like late 2005, something like that.
Oh my God.
And then at the time, I found two companies that made the Stormtrooper armor kits. I forget what the one company was, but the one was Studio Creations, and they made Biker Scouts, and TK kits, and they were the same price. So what made me decide to go with the FX kit was I saw in big print pre-trimmed. I was like, that sounds better than, I don't know what that means. So yeah, I bought my FX kit, and yeah, I've been in the Legion 19 years, and it is my only approved costume right now. I still have my now. I don't have the original helmet, but I still have my original FX kit, and I've said it on here before. If I'm with a lot of stormtroopers, I look like the dead tooth stormtrooper, you know. But if I'm by myself, it looks pretty white. So, but yeah, I saw the TK, and I do have a Sandy that's done, and I literally just have to submit, and that's my goal for this first half of this year is to get him approved. But the stormtrooper has always been like my dream stormtrooper, and then the TK when I saw the TD, the Sandy Trooper reminds me more of if I was a real stormtrooper, I probably wouldn't keep my armor pristine, so I would probably be a good sand trooper. So
that's awesome.
So,
you know what I love most about your story?
What's that?
Your wife said you should get that armor, and you didn't say, "Oh, you sure about that?" But you were like, "I'm going to do research. I'm going to buy this baby."
Listen,
I love that.
People that have been, I've been married. I proposed to my wife with an amazing Spider-Man comic book, so she knew what she was getting into. You know,
Nice.
she was not getting a football guy or you know a big truck driving guy. She was getting a nerd that likes Star Wars and Spider-Man. And yeah, when she, you know, there's certain openings. My marriage advice to any nerd: if your wife says that, don't just go with it. You know, run with that. Run with it. And honestly, I don't want to go too off topic of the question, but that armor. And my wife appreciated it. I think when I found out about the 501st, it made it even a better decision. Because I think if I would have just bought, and there's nothing wrong with not joining, but I think if I would have just bought that armor, it would have probably just sat on a mannequin after I wore it once or twice. And now it's like, it was not only a tool to do charity work and big charity work in the 501st, but it was also like my daughters and I got to do things every weekend up until even now we still do it. And I'm so happy with what that armor has brought. It's brought you guys into my life. Like that stupid piece of paper that I got from, you know, White Armor. I know, White Armor. Well, that piece of paper is also why we have these weird names for some of these websites and groups. Because back then they used to shut down all the websites, you know, for copyright and stuff. So you have these weird, like by the time I ordered that piece of paper, that website, whatever it was called, was shut down and called another name. I think that was like white spaceman. Like you had to literally, like you were like Sherlocking it. Okay, what sounds like Stormtrooper, but it's not Stormtrooper. You couldn't order Stormtrooper. They didn't call it Stormtrooper armor, stuff like that. So,
wow,
that's
very interesting.
That's the shortened version of that. So,
like you said about being married so long, you learn those two, you know, the two most important words ever. Yes, dear. Whenever, especially when she says, "Hey, you should buy that." Yes, dear.
Yep. Hey, my wife has helped more people put on armor than most. Like I said, you know, if your wife is willing to reach into a sweaty Vader and help adjust something, and you're manly enough to know nothing's going on, that's a keeper.
Nice.
Making sure she's okay with adjusting all those cod straps there.
Right. Well, I guess it's up to you, Matt.
So kind of like what Mike said, you know, the first thing that made me say I want to wear that, it wasn't really a 501st Legion, it was a Rebel Legion, because it was the first thing you saw in Star Wars of the Rebel Fleet Trooper. But then then there was C-3PO. It's like, oh yeah, in R2, I'd like to wear that. Then the Stormtrooper comes through, I'd like to wear that. Then Darth Vader, and it just keeps going. But the two costumes that, as I got older and, you know, persisted, was the Biker Scout and Boba Fett. And the Biker Scout was my first costume that whenever I joined the Legion, it was between the two of them. And I just happened to pick the one that is a whole lot less expensive and a whole lot easier to put together. So, and to this day, Biker Scout is my favorite to wear. That I built a Stormtrooper that's now a Sandy after it kind of went the yellow route like Mike's did. I have a Darth Vader. I have several officers. I have a Jedi. But still, the Biker Scout is the one that I wear most often, almost every troop, and it is my favorite. You know, you want to have that white armor that is recognizable, but this has great vision and great mobility.
You can sit.
I would say, whenever we're stormtroopers, but better because you can sit down. I mean, I've gone rock climbing in that thing. Now on a rock wall, not out in the real world. Ice skating, I can do headstands in that thing. You know, so it's
Yeah.
It has that flat top. It's just perfect for doing a headstand. Can't do that in Stormtrooper.
And all I can think about is Matt being a b-boy somewhere, like just doing head spins and breaking.
I have pictures of it. I'll make sure we get one. Here
I'm
we go.
thinking I can't do a headstand outside of armor, so you know.
I did yoga for several years.
All right, you're trained for it. You're trained for it.
Yeah. So let's keep it moving. Anthony. So what was the first arms character that said, "I want to wear that"? And I think I know the answer because I know Anthony a little bit.
Well, Return of the Jedi is my jam. That's the one I grew up with. When I was, I've always been obsessed with Darth Vader. Even as a little kid. So when Luke took his mask off at the end of Return of the Jedi, spoiler alert, Vader's mask comes off.
What?
I'm so sorry. There was just something about the technology of seeing what was under the mask, not necessarily the old man that was there, but just like the tech. And I remember my dad had broken his neck and he had to wear a neck brace for a while. And when he got better, he still had the neck brace. And I would steal the neck brace and I would pretend I was Darth Vader. And I would just kind of like have my neck like this. And I would, go stick fight with my younger brother, using those as lightsabers. So Celebration 2017 came around in Orlando. And I'd always been aware of Celebration. I'd always been aware of the 501st, but I had not done any cosplay at that point. And I was like, I'm going to Star Wars Celebration. I'm going to go in cosplay, and I'm a go big, go home kind of guy. And so I was like, I'm going to do Darth Vader. And so I joined the boards to start learning about how to do a real Darth Vader. I didn't want the Ruby's Ultimate one, which I think a lot of people who weren't aware kind of got, thinking that was a Vader thing. And I got connected with some really great mentors in the SLD, and then, of course, in the NER. And I wasn't approved when I cosplayed as Vader at Celebration, but it was just the most amazing thing being dressed up as Darth Vader with thousands of people, and just seeing the reaction and the affinity that people have for this character. I literally got out of costume that night. I was like, wow, I felt like Mick Jagger for the last 8 hours in costume. And now nobody knows who the hell I am. So
that's the best, man. That's the best.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You just you go back into incognito mode. It was Vader from the beginning. And to this day, he's still my only one. But I am going to be a TB very soon. I'm hoping in the next couple of months I'll get that all wrapped up. So I'll be joining you.
Best
all right, Mikey.
decision ever.
All right. Well, like people have said, Return of the Jedi was my jam growing up as a kid. And I will say the first Star Wars character I said I need to wear that was actually Luke Skywalker at the time, from Return of the Jedi. But I also grew up spending a lot of time in Northern California, going to Yosemite and doing a lot of hiking. And always going through the hiking, I always loved Endor. That was my jam. And of course, the Biker Scout you have to have. And so that was my first costume and still my favorite costume to wear. I even have, I think I may have brought this up, but this is my daughter's 80% bucket that I 3D printed. And
nice.
It was all purple. And she got mad that I painted it white instead of keeping it purple. So she has a purple one also that's printed too. But yeah, so I mean, I love the Biker Scout. That was my first costume and I wear it. And like Matt said, you were so immovable. I mean, I dance to that in that costume way too often. And you put a speaker box in me and people are just like, oh my gosh, that Stormtrooper's talking to me. He's real. They love it. Playing hopscotch with the kids at the different school events and stuff. I can do double Dutch, with it. So it's fun. I mean, I love the Biker Scout. Super mobile. I have both a Studio Creations one, just like what Mike mentioned here, and I think you got that one as well as AP and Matt. But I also have a Walt one because he did the one from Mandalorian. So I was like, I got to have both of them. So I kind of switched between which kit I wear. So I literally have two Biker Scout kits. So that's how much I like the costume.
Are you going to make yourself a speeder bike?
We have a speeder bike. We have the speeder bike from the Mandalorian here in Kentucky. So we have that. We also had two Return of the Jedi ones that I think have been sold to different garrisons. And we also had the Return of the Jedi shield generator also that has been sold as well. We had a lot of props that get sold. And we're now finishing up a 15-foot tall ATST and we have a 20-foot tall AT-AT. We have a lot of props here in Kentucky because, we have big backyards with garages in the middle of Kentucky. So.
Nice. Props is a whole other show. Props is
props is a different show.
We'll have to do a show on just big props for
Oh yeah.
So three of us are TBs. Anthony's about to be a TB. Mikey,
I guess I have to
Mike,
go with
rather.
I gotta do a TB too. I need to
Do it.
Join the Pathfinders. Join the Pathfinders. You know, it's great.
Because
decision you'll ever make.
I would say after I have a Vader 3/4 done too. But probably the Biker Scout would be my next one, because that was, I watch these Biker Scouts and they're just like flipping over their visors, getting a drink, sitting down,
I mean, you don't even need to put fans in your Biker Scout bucket, because honestly, there's ventilation through the ear holes. Like, people are like, you don't have. I've been doing this in the costume for 7 or 8 years now, and I still don't have fans in my main bucket. And they're like, why don't you have fans? I'm like, I don't really need it. I have fans in my my Bith musician, because that burns me up like crazy, but. My Scout, I'm like, meh, I'm good. I can troop all day, in Florida heat, Trooper Fest, whatever, like no problem. But other costumes, yeah, you need it. So Biker Scout, you're comfy, you can sit down, you can drink water when you need it.
You don't have to screw your helmet on like the TK.
No,
it's good.
I mean, I
have the chin strap.
I have an FX bucket where you can like put it on with another person inside. If I'll have to get them down one time, but the FX bucket, I can't believe I wore that for so long, because you really can't move your head. Like it's humongous.
And what Mikey said, with the Scout helmet on, you walk and then the air flows in, and it's just so nice. With the TK doesn't do that. With the Vader, it's like you're suffocating in that thing. So AP, I don't know how you do it all the time. I wear mine when there's like a special request or it's a hospital or it's something, but otherwise it just takes too long. I've gone into my Biker Scout in 5 minutes, literally.
Oh wow.
Well,
Vader,
I mean, you'll figure it out
a lot. Yeah.
I think Biker Scouts and probably the Mandalorian, anyone that wears those, they develop a swagger too. Like if you watch bikers, I don't know if it's because you have a gun hooked to your foot or whatever, but they do
what's
off
interesting?
To the swagger.
I don't use my little holdout blaster very often. I have a DLT 19, and so like you get to have the big gun too. Like you get to have all the fun like process of Biker Scout here. Yeah. Oh no, I lean on mine all the time. And you know what the best part though is that DLT 19. I have one that's pretty hefty because it's got a metal rod that screws together, so it's pretty hefty. When I give it to someone to hold to take photos with, they always have the eyes get like, oh, I get to hold it, and they get so excited because it's a big blaster. So there's definitely something about Biker Scouts and the Pathfinder detachment. If you're listening, give it up for Pathfinders and come join us.
That's the swagger. Definitely.
We're kind of like troublemakers. I'd say like we're the Loki ones, mischievous.
Yeah, I mean, who else can do cartwheels in their costume? I mean, like that's kind of where we're at,
Again, you bring up something I can't do out of costume. So.
When you put the armor on, you have the ability to do it. It's amazing.
Oh, okay. Well, though, what any of us complain about costumes, then I just have to always point this out. My daughter Saffron does 000. She just rolls her eyes when anyone complains about any costume being uncomfortable. She just rolls her eyes. She's like, "Shut up."
Yeah, that's a commitment.
She wore a TK one time, and she was like, "This doesn't even feel like I'm wearing a costume," So, but
awesome.
Yeah,
let's keep this moving.
Yeah. Mission report.
Yeah, you, Chris.
No, it's me. I'm purple.
That's Mike.
I'm the purple guy. All right.
Mission reports.
I almost ruined the audio. All right, mission report. Fury Otter Star Wars Night, January 31st. Starkiller Garrison. 10 troopers from 2 garrisons, 2 bases, and 1 merc clan, along with 3 handlers, braved the bitter cold to watch some hockey at the Erie Otters Star Wars Night. They split into 2 groups to meet fans as they entered the arena and kept order during the intermission, both in the concourse and the suite level. Other than the home team not scoring enough goals, the night was a lot of fun and a big success. The Otters have Star Wars Night every year, and the fans come out in force, unintended. A decent number wear costumes or Star Wars themed hockey jerseys, and the Otters have worn in the past. The only thing close to a negative, other than the final score, was the overly enthusiastic fan. He was a special needs and like to get grabby, but he comes to all the Star Wars appearances Near East, so we know he is, and everyone, especially his handlers, did a great job of watching each other's backs and making sure he didn't get out of hand. This was submitted by DZ 12173 XO. Oh, whoops, I got the wrong one. Sorry.
No, this one did
That's
not
right.
have a special submitter.
Huh?
This didn't have a special name first.
Okay, well, Matt brought this, so and I just overread, but that was Matt in Starkiller Garrison. So, and I'll
There we go. All right. Well, we also have the Ripon, California Autumn Almond Blossom Festival Parade that was submitted by Jamie Francella, DZ12173, the XO of the Central California Garrison. The Central California Garrison and Golden Gate Garrisons teamed up with Rebel Legion Endor Base and the Wolves of Mandalore to bring Star Wars to the Ripon, California Almond Blessable Festival Parade. The event featured over 30 costume members and 15 staff/drivers/handlers. The centerpiece of the group was a full-size TIE fighter led by the Empire and Vader himself. Finishing out the parade was none other than Chewbacca and Princess Leia and R2. The streets were packed and the interactions were nonstop. Lots of excitement from parade goers of all ages. I love parade troops. I really do. And this sounds like it was a blast. I would love to get photos of this just to see it and just feel like I was there, because that sounds like a wonderful troop. So thank you guys for submitting that. And we would love to feature everyone else who has more. So I'm going to hand it on over to Matt.
I'm still stuck on a full-size TIE fighter in this parade.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I need photos of this, right?
Yeah.
Like, I want to see this. Like, come on, guys.
And we need them on the prop show.
Yeah, seriously. So last mission report for this episode is Tim Tebow's Night to Shine, which was Friday, February 13th, from Garrison Corellia. This is submitted by Dave Veron, DZ42061. So the weather was surprisingly perfect. As always, this event takes you on an emotional journey, which renews your sense of purpose and reasons why you should be trooping these and other events like these. You enter a world of love, unrestrained, where people come to you, hug you, and tell you they love you. And it's absolutely 100% true. The unconditional love is overwhelming, and the feeling is truly awesome and a wonderful experience. One young woman, when she saw me, rushed over to me, hugged me, and held my hand for about 5 minutes. Her mom told me they moved to Virginia, and when they come back to her for events, she looks for her favorite person and saw me. That this is Dave who's talking, not me personally. So to bring her happiness, to see her smile, to mean so much to her, to be able to brighten her day and bring joy, truly is a blessing. She hugged me. I was also at this event, so she hugged me too. And of course, who can resist a stormtrooper, right? Or in this case, biker scout. But as Dave writes, Matt and I patrolled the venue, taking pictures and getting hugs with many, many incredible people. A magical night it was. And I'm not crying, but you're crying right now. A little background about Dave is Dave has 2 special needs kids they're adults now, but still, his daughter was there dancing the night away. His son did not want to come, but he has been to these before, and that is truly spoken from the heart with Dave and who he is. And I could not have said it any better myself with plugging events along these lines. It was amazing.
I've heard a lot of wonderful things about the Tim Tebow Night to Shine events. I know some guys in Ohio that have done them too. So it's awesome.
This is TB81974, Pathfinder's Detachment Leader, and you are listening to the 501st Cast.
More Pathfinders.
I know it's a sign.
Pathfinders!
Oh, I was going to say, no one signed up for the give us anything that you've heard about members or emails or wrap up. So I guess we're just going to go to our dedications for this episode. So who's reading our dedications?
Yeah, that's me. So
all right.
This episode of the 501st Cast is dedicated to Justin Connor, TR 58696 of Mountain Garrison, Brad Edmonds, TK3905 of Florida Garrison, and Gaitan Varakia TB10590 of the French Garrison. Buckets off to all the troopers, their families, and friends. We solemnly enter their names into our Hall of Eternal Legionnaires and offer a moment of silence.
All right, folks. We want to hear from you. Send us ideas for topics that you want to hear about, interview suggestions, or even just your well wishes. For now, help us kick off our next episode. Email, call, or message us answering the following question. What was the most difficult part of your first build that almost made you quit? Write to us at podcast@501st.com. Use country code +1 to leave us a voicemail at 1-551-501-TALK. That's 1-551-501-8255. Message us on Facebook at the 501stcast. And all of these can be found at our home on the web, 501stcast.com.
And our shout out this week is to everyone who sent in their audio or video to use in this episode. We would love to hear just anything you have to say to us, just what was already said. So thanks again, everybody. Thanks everyone for being on the show. You guys have any shout outs before we get to the end?
Just thank you everyone who sent stuff in to me, so we can get them up there. Anyone just sent anything in, I will gladly make a video so we can put it in this. If you're watching video, make sure it's on our show. So this is really for you guys to get back to and be engaged and let us know. So answer the question that Chris mentioned and send something in, guys. Thank you for everyone who sent stuff in.
And get your mission reports out there too, so we can share all the great things that you all are doing to the rest of the Legion. And thank you for those who did submit this week, and we look forward to reading some more in our next episode.
And now time for our disclaimer. The 501st Legion is a worldwide Star Wars costuming organization comprised of and operated by Star Wars fans. While it is not sponsored by Lucasfilm Limited, it follows generally accepted ground rules for Star Wars fan groups. Star Wars, its characters, costumes, and all associated items are the intellectual property of Lucasfilm. Copyright and trademark Lucasfilm Limited. All rights reserved. Used under authorization. And don't sue us.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. May the force be with you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.